All right, good morning, everyone. Actually, I should say good afternoon. It's 12 o'clock. Thank you for coming to the information seminar for the Master of Social Sciences in Counseling Psychology. I am Dr. Muriel, the program director. So before we actually start, I really want to do a little bit of introduction about our program. MSSCP, Master of Social Sciences in Counseling Psychology, was founded in 2010 by Professor Sun, Catherine Sun. I guess most of you guys or all of you guys know who she is. And MSSCP is the very first counseling psychology program in Hong Kong. Well, counseling psychology in other places like United States or UK or other places, especially United States where I obtained my training, has been going on or has been known by most of the people and has been having the same status as clinical psychologist. However, in Hong Kong, it's relatively speaking quite new. And from 2010 until now, it's been 15 years. Our graduates have been working very hard, to make its reputation. So today, I feel very honored to introduce this program to you. And hopefully, you will be interested and actually share with all our current students. From 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock, I feel once again very honored, invite 4 of my students, 2 from year 2, so they will be graduating next year, and 2 from year 1. They just finished, about to finish their first semester, and 2 of them actually graduated from the counseling and counseling psychology in our undergrad program. So if you have any more questions, and they will be able to give you another perspective. And I have 2 colleagues here, and both of them actually are associated with Hong Kong Psychological Society as well. So later on, if you have any questions regarding the program or Hong Kong PsySo, you can also approach them. All right, so let's start. Which one? This one?
That one is next page.
This one. Okay, thank you so much. So I will go into the detail because from 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock, we will have a very detailed QA section. So that allows me to spend a lot of time to introduce this program, to enhance your knowledge about what you will be getting into. All right, so we would be talking about the characteristic of the degree program and the entrance requirement, as well as a tuition, what you probably will be quite interested about. And then we will have a sharing. Okay, so most of you probably know, or you may not be quite familiar, in Hong Kong, we have 4 professional degrees. This morning, we had a Master of Psychology program introduced about its program. It is more like a conversion program. However, these 4 programs are what we call professional programs. So we have clinical psychology, we have counseling psychology, we have educational psychology, as well as industrial organizational psychology. For the rest, clinical psychology, educational psychology, IO Psych, you are quite familiar already, especially clinical psychology has been offering by Hong Kong Chinese U for a long time. And counseling psychology joined the professional program, starting from 2010. And we followed the very traditional scientist practitioner training model, which focus all on knowledge, research, and practice together. So it's under rule by Hong Kong PsySo as well. So after you finish the program, after a year of practice, after you obtain a degree, you will be eligible to apply as a registered counseling psychologist. Okay, so just like any other registered psychologist, Clean Psy, Outside, and SI. Okay, how do we actually design our programs, and how do we in fact develop the entire system of our MSSCP? Basically, when Professor Sun first started the program, she and her team, they look at all the procedures, all the ethical standards, all the requirements from all the foreign institutions under rule by, for example, like CCPTP or APA, American Psychological Association, which I belong to, or like APS from Australia, Australian Psychological Society, or British Psychological Society, a lot of you guys know about. Okay, and in Asia, we also look at the Asian Professional Counseling and Psychology Association, APCPA. In fact, that was founded by our Professor Sun as well, and Hong Kong Professional Counseling Association. These two, in fact, they actually they basically support counselors. Okay, you probably know this is there's another domain. Okay, a little different from counseling psychologist or any other registered practicing psychologist. Okay, then HKPS. This is something that we need to pay most closely attention. Okay, so like I say, after you graduate from the program, okay, you will be eligible to be the member of the Division of Counseling and Psychology. All right, so we know that how Hong Kong SISO, you can consider Hong Kong SISO is like a large umbrella. And underneath, we have Clean Psy, Coun Psy, SI, and IOPSY. And they all have their own division. Okay, Clean Psy has a CP division. And for us, counseling psychology, we have a DCOP division. So after you graduate, our program is specifically designed for you to join the DCOP as the member. So after you obtain your degree, you are eligible to apply for the membership. Okay, and after 1 year practice, okay, so this is what we call the post-qualification experience. After 1 year, and you can apply for the registration. Okay, then you will become registered counseling psychologist. So the total year will be 3 years if you are a full-time student. Okay, yes, if you're a full-time student. If you're a part-time student, it will take a little longer. Depends on your study plan. All right. However, there's something I would like you to pay attention on the highlight part. That is to register as a registered counseling psychologist in Hong Kong. Okay, graduate membership of Hong Kong SISO is really required. Okay, so you need to double check if your degree is eligible for you to apply as a graduate membership, okay, under Hong Kong SISO. So this is one of the most important things. You still can obtain the degree. However, if you are not eligible or if you are not the member of Hong Kong SISO, okay, you may encounter difficulty apply for the registration. So this is one thing I always want to remind our potential applicants. Okay, so in order to be the graduate member of Hong Kong SISO, you can check it out Hong Kong SISO's website. There's a very clear description about all the requirement. Basically, you need to graduate from the undergraduate program, okay, which is psychology or related to psychology. If you're not, okay, so this is one thing that our school, our department has set up in a very complete dragon through program. If you're not, you're always welcome to apply for Master of Psychology, which is a conversion program, to fulfill the requirement by Hong Kong SISO. All the courses designed for Master of Psychology, okay, is actually for you to be eligible, okay, to be in the track of being a psych major. Okay, so this is one of the requirement that once again you do need to pay attention to. So here is the link for Hong Kong SISO, then you can always check it out. I believe our PowerPoint will be left there for you to double check and to contemplate a little bit. Okay, to complete of core subjects in counseling psychology, like I mentioned, we focus on the theories, we have knowledge, and we also have research component as well. So we do divide our courses into several different kinds of domain. For example, based on the theories of practice, we offer about 4 to 5 courses, depends on the eligibility, okay, of our lecturers. So usually at least 2 out of 4. Sometimes we have the 5th one, okay, for students to pick 2 out of the 4 or 5. okay, therapeutic orientations, or you can call that therapeutic approach. So usually they are CP 514 and 515. Okay, so that's theory oriented. Then later on, we have practice oriented courses. Basically, it's about the modality or the clientele. Okay, so later on, I will talk about the details. Okay, then you do need to take assessment, planning, implementation, formulation, such as say 519, 520. Some of the assessment I can give you example like WAIS. Okay, Wechsler Intelligent Test taught by me. Okay, and or we do have like a CARSOR for career counseling. Okay, we teach SCL 90. That's a symptom checklist. Okay, we also talk about a house tree person. Okay, I usually teach that on the part of all the diagnostic assessment. Okay, so these are the assessment. Of course, we teach students how to do intake. Okay, how to do clinical interview in details. So these are the assessment. Then the most important, what our program mostly attract student is our externship 1, 2, and 3. In fact, before that we have internship. How can we have two different names, internship and externship? Okay, probably you can guess. Internship, all the students will be doing their clinical work on campus, in school, with our undergraduate students from the counseling major. Okay, as they also need to fulfill their pre-internship requirement, and our students needs to have something to start with. Okay, so before we actually send them outside, we let them to stay in school to do their internship. That's usually the second semester of the first year. Okay, they will start in January, all the way through until the end. Okay, so that's internship. If they pass, every single student will be assigned a clinical supervisor, and they will meet their supervisor every week. Okay, and by mean, we say it's only 1 hour. However, none of our supervisors only see our student 1 hour, 1.5 to 2 hours. Okay, we spend time to look at their video. We spend time to talk about the cases. We talk about their group proposal because they do have to do group counseling as well. Okay, so this is how we meet our students. And after they passed, okay, if they can pass internship, they can go on to externship. We do have an externship coordinator. Okay, today he's not here. Usually we have about 20. At this moment we have about 20 plus. We have about 20 plus sites we have contract with. We sign contract with our sites every year. And every year we will have some new sites to add on. Okay, so we have more than 20 sites to match with our students. Okay, then they will be matched with their supervisor as well, depends on lecturers or depends on supervisors' credits as well as the theoretical orientation. Okay, so the externship will go on for 3 consecutive semesters, starting from the summer right after the first year. So there's no break. Okay, there's no break for students and there's no break for lecturers. So students will start their first externship in summertime. Usually that's from May 2nd or the second week of May, depends on the readiness of the site. Okay, all the way until August 31st. Then you will start the first semester of a second year. Okay, so this is really all the way down. Okay, no break. Okay, so this is the arrangement for our practice. So every single student will have the chance within the 2 years of their study, they will have the chance to experience 4 clinical placement. Okay, starting from the second semester of the first year all the way down until the time they graduate. So this is the best arrangement for our program. I believe this is something that most of the potential applicants most welcome. Okay, then we do have courses aiming on specific problems and population. For example, we have cultural individual diversity, Okay, this is one of the very important courses. So for students to have a wider spectrum of vision to look at different population or while working with different population. Then we have clinical seminar courses. Okay, earlier you see there's a practicum courses. Okay, practicum courses is always related to theoretical orientation, or you can call that clinical approach. And seminar courses is always about the kind of population or the kind of a clientele you students are going to work on. So starting from the moment you can plan for your career, for your future, to see what kind of population you are mostly interested. We do have, okay, we do have person for, oh, there's a little mistake here. Okay, these are the practicum courses. Okay, sorry about this. This is the practicum courses. Seminar is usually, like I say, this is the kind of clientele. We have mental health. Okay, we have career counseling. Okay, people who are mostly interested in their career, they're confused about their career path. So normally the clientele will be what? College students, will be secondary schoolers. Okay, and we have we do have school counseling. Some people, they are more keen to work with students or to work in campus. Doesn't matter, it's a kindergarten, primary school, secondary school, or universities. Okay, and what I listed here as a mistake, those are the practicum courses. I apologize for that. Those are the practicum. So I listed out person center, okay, person center or client center, you want to call that. Okay, CBT, psychodynamic, solution focus, or sometimes we have play therapy as well. Okay, depends on the eligibility. And in the second last semester, we have specific issues in developmental psychology. Okay, all right, and we have research. Okay. Being a practitioner doesn't mean that you should ignore about research. Okay, because a lot of the evidence or some innovative ideas coming from research. So we do, every single student has to write a proposal. Okay, and they will start writing, not only they have research method course, starting from the very first semester of the first year, and in summertime, and they also have another course. So if I remember correctly, first semester, second semester, summer semester, you all have research-related courses. And you will be working on your proposal, your thesis proposal, starting from the very beginning. And every single student will be assigned with a thesis supervisor, which is never your clinical supervisor. So eventually you will have two supervisors, one clinical supervisor, one research supervisor. Okay, two different supervisors. Okay, so you will be meeting with your thesis supervisor once again. Okay, you can meet them once a week. Okay, or if they don't chase you, then you better find them. Okay, once a week, every other week, up to you. If you don't chase them, they won't look for you. This is your responsibility. Okay, by the end, okay, let me think. Okay, by the end of the first semester of their second year, okay, students will be doing a poster presentation, and every single student, not only your research supervisor will be evaluating your work. Okay, you will have a second marker. Okay, second marker to look at your work. And the best thing is, if you like to publish it, okay, if you want to go on with your doctoral degree, okay, your supervisor usually will encourage you and help you out to publish the work or to present it in workshops, to present it in conferences or convention. Okay, so 516, 18, 40, 41, 42 are the dissertations, the thesis. Okay, so that would be something that most of our students usually find a little bit of a on top of their very heavy workload, and they feel this is one thing that sometimes take up a lot of their time, because they will start collecting data from the summer of the first year. Okay, all right, then ethics. Okay, the very first semester, you will have ethics already. This is because second semester, you'll be doing internship. Without understanding about ethical standard as a practitioner, there's no way that you can start practicing. Okay, so today we have the lecturers, Dr. Yan Zhang is here, who teaches the course. Okay, if you are interested about this course, interested about the content, maybe she'll be able to. Okay, she's just saying hello to you guys. Okay, all right. So these are some brief introduction and okay, the requirement. Like I say, practicum, seminar, these are practice-oriented courses, internship, externship, all together. By the way, practicum seminar courses, according to Hong Kong HKSYU, can be the hours of the courses can be considered off group supervision hours. So every class is about 2 hours and 45 minutes. We consider as 3 hours. Okay, 13 weeks out of the 15 weeks. 2 weeks are the reading weeks. And Hong Kong HKSYU actually say all the students can use those hours as group supervision hours. Okay, plus, so practicum seminars like that. Each student will need to take 2 practicum courses, 2 seminar courses. Okay, so you can do your calculation for group supervision hours. And internship, 230 hours, okay, and externship, 690 hours. Okay, client contact hours is 50 hours. For the rest, you have to write your clinical report, you have to do your supervision, you sometimes have to do some screening, okay, so all the hours together, and you may need to help assist your externship to do some of the administrative work. However, that's also related to, even there's no therapeutic component, however, that's related to your practice. Okay, so everything together, you will need to obtain 1,100 hours before you graduate. Okay, up to here, quite a lot of work, isn't it? However, according to later on from 1 o'clock, like I say, 4 of my students will be there. You guys can ask them, is it really hard? Okay, I'm sure they will tell you, yes, a bit, but doable, workable. And you definitely can go through that if you help each other. And for us, the lecturers, okay, HKSYU is not a very big school. However, this is one of the advantages. So teacher-students ratio is really small, and we spend a lot of time with our students, okay? All right, one thing for you to pay attention to is for internship and externship, you at least need to have 2 full days available, okay? 2 full days. However, I need to tell you about the reality. For externship, let's say you are assigned to one of the site, okay? You made agreement with your site saying Tuesday, Thursday, you will be there all day from 9 o'clock until 6 o'clock. However, your clients, some of your clients, they say, I cannot come on Tuesday and Thursday. I can only come on Wednesday. All right, so you probably need to spread your 22 hours, okay, into different days just to accommodate your client's needs. Of course, that depends on how you negotiate with the sites, okay? However, the hours, okay, would be accumulated to 2 full days. Okay, that's what I meant here, 2 full days. In reality, you may need to go to the site 3 days or sometimes 4 days. However, not necessary to stay there from 9 o'clock to 6 o'clock. Depends on your clients and your collaboration with your sites. Okay, what you guys are most interested. So, maximum how much I would take in, 27 to 30. 30 is the ceiling. Okay, 30 is the ceiling. Our average depends on the qualification of our students. Our average is 27, I'll say 25 to 27, and the maximum is 30 students. And the tuition right here, if some of you have looked at our website or kept paying attention to our site, you probably noticed there's an increase of the tuition. However, this is still the cheapest, okay, among all the programs or other psychology-related programs in Hong Kong. Okay, so for local students, okay, is $220,500, so $3,500 per credit. And for non-local, it's $252,000, so $4,000 per credit. Okay, so $500 more, okay, than the local students. So this is, and in total, if you're a full-time students, you take 2 years to finish your 63 credits. If you're part-time, okay, probably around 3 or 4 years. Later on, I will, maybe I can answer some of your questions, because every year I'm asked about that. How many part-time I would take in? Okay, no more than 5%. Okay, no more than 5%, because each part-time students, they will have their custom-made study plan. And however, if we take in way too many students, will be not quite easy for my colleagues to schedule their courses. Okay, to collaborate with the school and all the externship and the internship. So I usually take, so you can do your math, no more than 5%. Okay, so the average is usually 3%. Okay, of the part-time I will take in. I don't want to give you fantasy. I really want to be honest with you, so you don't spend you know what the program is about. Okay, earlier we talked about knowledge, research, and practice dimension. 21, okay, about 21 credits. We'll say that 33% is knowledge base. And you see practice dimension, 24 credit, approximately 38%. So this is the heaviest one. So that's why we call ourselves professional program. Okay, because later on, after you graduate, you got your registration, you will be a professional. You will call yourself registered counseling psychologist. Okay, not just counseling psychologist, not counselor, but registered counseling psychologist. And 18 credits, 29% of the research dimension, relatively speaking, is already quite low. Okay, quite low. This is how the 21 credits is coming from knowledge base. Like I say, the theory base, psychotherapy 1 and 2. Maybe I introduce a little bit. What is 1 and 2 about? 1, I teach it, CBT. However, in nowadays, starting from about 20 years ago, I focus more on schema therapy. Okay, so within my CBT, I talk about schema therapy as well. Okay, and we have group counseling. Okay, you will be learning how to write group proposal. You will be in crisis management. You'll be learning how to do a crisis management. I guarantee you would encounter more or less, okay, either in internship or externship. Then for psychotherapy 2, we have psychodynamic. Okay, we have solution focus. We have person-centered. So these 2 courses are purely theory-based. Okay, lecturers may conduct a little bit of a practice for you to have a taste. However, the focus is more on theory. So once you know the theory, just like you are building a house, you have the foundation, then later on when you start practicing, it's actually more stable. Okay, so after that, and we have cultural individual diversity, assessment evaluation, also starting from the 2nd semester of the 1st year. Okay, like I say, you will be learning about ways. Okay, some people say you may not have so many chances to practice. However, oftentimes, okay, when you start practicing, you will notice that some people will bring the report to you. Okay, ask you, what does it mean? You do need to know how to read it, how to interpret it. Okay, so we do have a CARSOR for career counseling. We have symptom checklist. Okay, we teach you how to do intake, clinical interview. Okay, we teach you how to do conceptualization. Okay, today you need to explain about why a person turned out to be like this. How come this person, A person, suffer from depression? Okay, and B person experience the same thing, doesn't suffer from depression or doesn't suffer from any kind of issues. What's going on? What is the reason? How we explain about why they turn out to be the way they are could be based on their past, family background, their environment, their culture, their personality, their age, okay, their occupation, everything, all the aspects. This is what we call conceptualization. And conceptualization can be based on your theoretical orientation. So this is something our program focus a lot. Every single student needs to know, okay, when you become an experienced practitioner, you should be able to name why a person becomes the way he or she is. Then later on, will be much easier for you to develop what? Treatment intervention. You know how you can actually decrease all the difficulties, obstacles the person suffers, and increase all the positive elements that you think the person can obtain eventually a great life. Okay, so you do need to, so all the things you learn about cultural ethics, about specific issues, it's all for you to prepare, become well-rounded, okay, able to obtain the wider spectrum of knowledge, okay, to become a well-prepared practitioner. Okay, and research, we mentioned about that already, 1618 and dissertation 123, okay, from the very beginning, together, okay, with your practice, together with your internship, externship, together with your courses, okay, together with your supervision, okay. And practicum and seminar. Earlier, I have mentioned about that. Play therapy, solution focus, client center, CBT, cognitive behavior therapy, okay, psychodynamic. You will pick, once again, 2 out of the 5, okay. You are not able to, there's no enough time for you to take all 5, okay, and each course only offered once, okay, throughout the 2 years. Some students ask, okay, I've been doing this for a long time already, and I know students may have the confusion, why can I take all the courses? 1, okay, there's not enough time, okay. 2, lectures may have different credits, okay. In fact, we thought about this before, to make this program 3 years, okay. However, probably that doesn't quite fit with the practice in Hong Kong. So you can only take 2 out of the 5 practicum courses, okay. Some people ask, then can I sit in? The thing is, you may not have the time to sit in, okay, because every semester all the courses are fixed, okay. There are certain mandatory courses you need to attend. Then seminar courses, mental health counseling, I teach that. I usually teach how to do diagnosis, how to recognize different psychological disorder. I also teach a little bit about psychotropic medication. And we have school counseling for those people who are interested in working in school, working with students. And we have vocational psychology and counseling. Then we have couple and family. Some of you like to work within a system. Okay, you like to work with couples, you like to work with a whole family, okay, then this is a course for you. Internship, externship 1, 2, 3, I need to say no more. Okay, I've already talked about this. This is the heaviest one. 2 full days you need to dedicate, and you need to meet with your supervisor. Maybe I can add on a little bit more. Because we have 4 clinical placement, and usually, okay, we try to assign 2 different supervisors. That means rotate. Okay, so for example, internship, you have me as your clinical supervisor. Then externship 1, you may follow another person. Okay, then externship 2 with the same person, and externship 3, you come back to me. Okay, so this is usually what we want. The reason why we want to do it this way, because we want students to experience different approach. Okay, because all of our faculty members, we have different specialties. Okay, today I have 2 colleagues there. They're so kind. One is my assistant director, okay, Dr. Zhou Ngai. Maybe you can say hi to everyone. Okay. Some of our students are here, and we have Dr. Zhang here, and she just say hello to everyone. Okay. In fact, Dr. Zhang used to be our assistant director. Later on in the afternoon, if you guys are interested, she is now the director of the Master of Play Therapy. So her session will be at 4 o'clock. Okay, so if you are interested, please attend. Okay, and she now is the director there. Okay, so since we mentioned about the specialty, Okay, so maybe I can do a little bit of introduction of myself. Like I say, you all know I am Dr. Muriel. In fact, I'm a clinical psychologist. Okay, I was trained in the U.S. I went to high school in Canada and finished all my education in the United States. And I also work in several hospitals in the United States, including like UCLA Neuropsychological Assessment Center and USC, that's University of Southern California General Hospital. Later on, I started working in Singapore as a clinical psychologist. I work in one of the biggest psychiatric hospitals called Castle Peak. Nowadays, they call that an institution of mental health just to decrease the stigmatization. It's not a school. If you hear institution, it's a psychiatric hospital. The hospital actually had about, at the time, it was more than 2,000 inpatient bed. I heard it's about 2,500 inpatient bed nowadays. Then after that, I joined HKSYU in 2011. And I started at my own private practice along with this. However, only take me very little time because the work here is really heavy. Okay, so this is a little bit nutshell about me. And I teach Psychotherapy 1, CBT, and Schema Therapy. And I teach mental health and teach assessment. And I'm also one of the clinical supervisors. Okay, some of the entrance requirements, so you may need to pay attention to. Some basic requirement, okay, you need to have a bachelor degree with first or second class honor. I kind of want to emphasize this because when I first came here, I thought about myself, so I added this. Okay, if you can look at the note, this kind of a first or second honor, this refers to the UK educational system. If you graduate from the US educational system, then you may not know what it is. Okay, so you may have other different, because honor degree has a very different definition. So if you obtain cum laude, magna cum laude, and summa cum laude, okay, you may have that. Okay, some of the UK system has this. So if you don't have the first or second honor on your transcript, okay, this is something that you can refer to. Okay, the laude, cum laude, and summa cum laude. Okay, and on top of that, okay, if you do not graduate from the bachelor degree in psychology, once again, like I emphasized, that you can join or you can probably register to take the conversion program, okay, to fulfill the requirement. Another one is if you are accepted by the program, okay, there's a general requirement which is non-credit bearing, okay, that you do need to take the introductory course, okay, in this program. It's more related to micro skills, okay, micro skill, some of the communication skills, okay, non-credit bearing in summertime, usually starts from the beginning to mid-July. Okay, I understand the time is a little bit of in rush, so I actually communicated with our lecturers, okay, that we may move it to mid-July, okay, in order for students to finish on time. Language requirement, okay, the primary language of instruction, okay, in the program is English. Okay, it's absolutely English, and all the homework assignment has to be turned in English. However, okay, I can say that, for example, I don't speak Cantonese, however, I understand Cantonese 100%, so I usually ask my students during the supervision, because I really want to hear, and I also watch the video recording, okay, I want to know what exactly you communicated with your client, so I usually ask my students speak Cantonese to me. Okay, so you will hear a very interesting situation, like they speak Cantonese, I reply in English. Okay, sometimes we do have Mandarin speaking students, then you will hear that both of us, we speak Mandarin, then we look at the video recording, sometimes in Cantonese, sometimes in English, sometimes in the Mandarin Chinese. Okay, so this is the situation. However, the primary language that we use in the lecture is English. Speaking of that, so you can look at the requirement. The overall score has to be more than or equal to 6.5 in International English Language Testing or IELTS, okay? Or you can take a TOEFL score of 600, okay, or 100 is a internet-based test, or 250 computer-based test, okay? So those are for students who may not have graduated from the undergrad program, which the teaching mode is English. Okay, for example, if you graduated from the schools in mainland China or Taiwan, okay. However, if you graduate from school, let's say in Singapore, okay, or Malaysia, okay, or UK, US, or Hong Kong, okay, probably this is not needed. Okay, so this is something that you need to double check with our administrative office. Application stages. Okay, so we will conduct interview. So this program, we definitely conduct individual interview, not group interview. And every single interviewee will be interviewed by 2 faculty members. One is practice-oriented, the other one is research-oriented. And each interview will last about 1 hour, okay? 1 hour interview. It's not 10 minutes. It's a 1 hour interview. You can ask our students. I've seen our students sitting there. They may probably share with you what the interview is like and how does it feel. Okay, and you will have an English writing test. Okay, these are some very important dates. Okay, January 31st will be the application deadline. From now on, you will still have about two months and a half. Okay. To prepare all the documents, and February 28th, okay, will be the interview day, okay, and March to April, usually in the mid-March, then we will announce our admission, okay, after graduate school has approved. So after we select our students, we also need to send to graduate school for evaluation. Then graduate school will send out the admission letter, okay, around March or April. I want to introduce a little bit of since most of them are not here, so please. Do we need to stop sharing? Okay, this is me. Okay, if you go to our website, okay, under postgraduate programs, and go for the MCCP, you will be able to see our core faculty members. Then you will see me here. Then you will see Dr. Ngai. Okay, Dr. Ngai is right here. Okay, he has already said hello to all of you guys. And you will be able to see our research interest and our specialty. Okay, and Dr. Ngai, probably you can do. Would you like to introduce yourself a little bit since you're here?
Thanks for the script. So, hello everyone, welcome to this speech. And I would like to introduce myself. I'm Dr. Joe Ai, the Assistant Director of this program. So, I used to be studying in HKSYU for 6 years, from the bachelor and also the first cohort of this program. So, what I'm talking about, totally talking about the experience. I've experienced that before. So, by definition, I should be empathetic if you are in this program, yeah. So, and for me, I'm not just a practitioner. After I register as a counseling psychologist, I also conduct research, especially about the human-animal interactions. So, me and my family is also running a center. It's about animal-assisted interventions, and I'm also running a charity about teaching the people how to interact with the animal correctly and also enhance the animal welfare. So in this course, what I'll be doing is that I will be the clinical supervisor and also the research supervisor. And also in some of the course, I will co-teach with Dr. Lin about the psychological assessments. So nice to meet you all. So maybe I pass the mic to another very important person in this program. Yeah, Dr. Yan.
Let me do a little bit. You can see thank you, Dr. Ngai. Then let's have a look of Dr. Jen. Okay, this is Dr. Jen. Okay, Dr. Jen, would you?
Okay, nice to meet you all today. Thank you. Yeah, I'm Yan and Dr. Zhe. I'm also one of the graduates from this program many years ago. So, yeah, and actually in this program, so I mainly have two roles. The first role is the is lecturer. So I teach actually two of the main courses that could be very important to our professional development. So the first one is in very first semester will be the professional ethics in counseling psychology. That means I know that maybe most of you already study or have a chance to taste what are the basic ethical principles to psychology, right? In bachelor programs or another master program maybe. So, however, in the program, in our first semester, that will be mainly focused on practicing as a counseling psychologist in Hong Kong. That means very context-based, that no matter in the future, we graduate and work in school settings, NGO settings, community center settings, all settings that actually we will encounter ethical dilemmas and we need to make ethical decisions minute to minute. So it is already have a lot to say in terms of the ethical sensitivity. So that's a very important course, and I'm so privileged to have a chance to exchange with you all later on. So another course I will be teaching will be multicultural counseling. So that's another highly related to our professional identity as counseling psychologists, because unlike other psychologists, only very limited target population, like EP, mostly working in school setting and work with students and teachers, maybe mostly students, SEN in Hong Kong, However, counseling psychologists, we actually have a much wider perspective, which we have a chance to work with population from 0 age to 99 years old, and also suffer from a wide range of from very heavy, severe distress or to minor issues. So all those require us to have the multicultural sensitivity. They may have different age group, they may have different, able and disabled, and also they may speak different languages. So all those will be all highly related to our professional practice as counseling psychologists as well. So apart from these two main key courses, I'm privileged to share with you, and I'm also one of the clinical supervisors in this program. So either internship or externship 1, 2, 3. So maybe you're lucky to work with me in the future. So yeah, so that's basically about me. And now, as Dr. Lin also mentioned, because even I was trained in counseling psychologist, and after graduate, I have a clinical interest working with children population. Yeah, so that's one of the reasons play therapy was also one of my interests. And yeah, apart from play, again, from my clinical practice, is that when we work with children, we need to work with their families. So apart from play therapy, another modality I'm more and more interested in is the family system therapy. So if you also have that kind of interest, maybe we can have more chance to exchange in the future. And my research interest will be, again, related to psychotherapy process, and also maybe some cultural adaptation. Yeah, that kind of topics. Yeah, feel free to know more about me from the website. And yeah, so that's basically about me. And nice to meet you all again. And I hope that you enjoy the day here in Xi'an. Oh, okay. Yeah, sure. We have actually have a lab. We call it a practice-based evidence lab. So again, that lab is very unique in Hong Kong. Is that I'm the manager, and actually Dr. Zhong Ai is the associate manager as well, because we together have the practice-based evidence lab. It is very first and unique in Hong Kong. You can see, you can heard that maybe many times you heard about the evidence-based practice. But now our lab's name is called practice-based evidence. So how differentiates evidence-based and practice evidence-based? So that's really something I was maybe in the future I can share with you more is that our lab wants to do very unique research. It's called process research. So nowadays, a lot of research, even though it is related to counseling intervention, most likely pre-post, right? Pre-post. However, our interest is not only focused on pre-post, the difference. We actually want to understand the process, the how that change. So what happened exactly in that session contribute to the change, but not only the pre-post. Oh, there's positive difference, so we are so grateful. No, we actually want to know the process. So that's I can say that it is the very unique, and that lab is really a very good resources to our program, to our profession. So if you are also interested not only in practice, but you have same interest and query about the process inside the counseling process, psychotherapy process, please talk to us. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Zhang. That's a very detailed introduction. Dr. Zhang used to be our assistant director as well as the coordinator for externship. So later on, if you guys have any questions for the externship sites, then she'll have a very fruitful knowledge to share with you guys, or anything about Hong Kong side. So Dr. Zhou Ngai, Dr. Zhang can also share with you. Okay, some other of my colleagues, besides, then we have Dr. Lee. Okay, Alex Lee. Dr. Lee and Dr. Fu Wai, okay, both of them actually, they are researchers. Dr. Lee is also our Associate Academic Vice President. He teaches one course, okay, and he and Dr. Fu, both of them, they co-teach with all the research-based courses, okay. And Dr. Fu this morning was just talking about the PhD MPhil program. You can go back to review that if you're interested after the master program. And he is also our coordinator for thesis. So he will be in charge, responsible to match you up with your supervisor. Okay. And we have Dr. Raisin Zhang. Okay. He teaches career counseling. Okay. He is not one of our clinical supervisors. However, he is one of the founder for Division of Counseling Psychology of Hong Kong HKSYU. Okay, but he is not one of our clinical supervisor. He teaches career counseling, and he supervises thesis. So his primary focus, like I say, career counseling. Okay, he is also the director of PsyD program. Some of our students, after they graduate from this program, MSSCP, okay, if they want to continue, if they really want to advance their study, as well as maybe they are interested in teaching, okay, they go ahead to study in the PsyD program, Doctor of Psychology, and you can actually ask Dr. Zhang. In fact, after this, okay, after our QA session, will be Dr. Zhang's program, PsyD. You can stay and listen to and to learn about that program as well. And we have Dr. Thompson, Nigel Thompson. Dr. Thompson is our internship coordinator. Okay, so when you need to start internship, he, together with one of my another colleague whose photo is not here, Dr. Marco Soon. And they will help you, or help all our master students to match up with the undergrad students, as well as to assign you with the clinical supervisor. So they are the middle people. And Dr. Thompson is the head is the primary person, okay, to conduct this, okay, to actually match with two sides, okay, for the students. And whenever students have any kind of administrative issues regarding seeing students or having some kind of issue with the supervisors, you can go to him, okay. He is the internship coordinator. Another role of him is he's also one of our clinical supervisors, okay, and his specialty is person-centered. I have heard students call him, gave him a really honorable name, a walking Roger. Okay, so this is really the highest honor for Dr. Thompson to have it. He didn't know about that. When I told him, he was really surprised. But I personally, I've been working with him for 15 years. I feel that as well. Okay, so this is Dr. Thompson, and he also teach. So this is one of the most important courses, and he supervised students. He told me he always enjoys supervising with students because he didn't really see this as supervision. He see this as interaction. Okay, so this is something that he feels, and there's a flow of learning in the room. Okay, not just deliver on one side. I always have an idea about supervision. That supervision. That's two words: super and vision. That means a supervisor's role is what? Not to tell you what to do, but to guide you to see a wider range of a vision. Okay, our role and our job is actually to guide you, assist you to see more of the scene. Okay, so not like you ask me a question, I tell you what to do. In that case, students would never really learn much, and there's no supervision whatsoever. Okay. All right, then we have Dr. Zheng. Okay, we have Dr. Adrian Tong, who's not here. This is our externship coordinator. Okay, Dr. Adrian Tong's specialty, so far he's not teaching any courses. However, his externship coordination job, okay, takes him a lot of time. He constantly has to contact the externship sites and to negotiate with them. He actually has to visit them in person, one by one, to talk to them and communicate with them, okay, every now and then to see if there's kind of the issue. And he also has to match the students with supervisor, and before that, all the matching comes to me and for my final evaluation and confirmation. Okay, so he himself is a CBT trained psychologist as well. That's his specialty. However, later on, I know that he has become more and more interested in ACT, okay, acceptance and committee therapy, and he's been under supervision by the founder of ACT. Later on, Dr. Zheng was so modest. Okay, she only mentioned about she's getting more and more interested in family therapy and family theory, but she did not really talk about who her teacher is. Okay, her teachers are famous, Dr. Lee Wai-Yung. Okay, so this is her teacher. So she's under a very direct and strict training. Okay, so if you're interested, you can actually have more talk with her. Okay, then this is Dr. Mark Harrison. Okay, Dr. Mark Harrison is from UK, and he specializes in school counseling. So he teaches. He's not our clinical supervisor. However, he teaches one of our seminar courses, school counseling, because Dr. Harrison has very extensive experiences in school counseling. Okay. He himself is a counselor, and before he joined HKSYU, before he joined our program, he was the principal, okay, for one of the international school, okay, for many years already. Okay, so I remember Dr. Harrison say something about his passion. Okay, something about like education is his love, and counseling is his all-time love, something like that. Okay, I hope you will have a chance to meet him. Okay, and he has a lot of his own ideas about counseling, and students always enjoy his course in school counseling. Okay, then we have Dr. Fomolo Douglas. Okay, this is our new faculty members, and he will be teaching family therapy. Okay, next semester in the second year, the last semester of the second year. Okay, Dr. Fomolo is a clinical psychologist, so hopefully you will have a chance to meet him as well. Then we have Dr. Caitlin Chen, okay, who's also one of our new faculty members. Dr. Chen, okay, who joined us starting from this semester. She is currently teaching developmental psychology. Okay, and she had very extensive experiences both Dr. Fomolo and Dr. Caitlin Chen, they haven't joined us for clinical supervision at this moment. Okay, however, both of them are teaching the courses. And we have Dr. Helen Kwok. Okay, the title is actually not correct. Dr. Kwok was our student from cohort 1. Okay, so she actually joined the program in 2010. Prior to that, she was our undergrad student as well in counseling and psychology major. And later on, she obtained a PhD from our school as well. She just graduated and she finished her study this year, and he joined the program. Okay, currently, she's not teaching any of the courses or doing any supervision. However, her role is really important because she teaches you guys, or she teaches the students the foundation course in summertime. Okay, that's one of the most important courses. You have to pass that, even that's not credit bearing. However, you have to, all the students have to pass that course in order to take all the formal courses. Dr. Phoebus Trey, okay, sometimes he supervises. However, he is our advisor. Okay, we call him graduate program advisor. He is the advisor for Master Counseling Psychology program. He's advisor for the play therapy. He's advisor for PsyD program. Okay, so what does a advisor do? Okay, his role is super important. Whenever you have an issue, question, problem, okay, about your study, about, let's say you want to switch, you can switch only once, or you're confused about certain arrangement, okay, you can talk to him. Or if you're not happy about something, however, you don't want to talk to me, okay, you feel that when you come to me, then things are probably a little bit of too serious. Okay, he's the person you can turn to. He's a very neutral person that you can talk to. We set up this role, okay, since the very beginning, okay, of the program. Okay, is actually for such purpose. Okay, and so far, students have been very happy of talking to him. Okay, all right. So Dr. Choi also graduated from our program as well. This program, master program, as well as our PsyD program. Okay, so they know the program very well. They can also share with you. Dr. Choi is not here. In fact, I didn't invite my colleagues, as today is Saturday. This is their free time. They don't need to come. However, I believe they will be very happy, okay, if you simply just bump into them or email them for questions if you really want to know about their area. Okay, all right. Today I invite 4 students here. So Gordon, Rachel, 3 students, and Benjamin. Would you guys like to approach? Okay, so now we are gonna get into, you can stay for QA section. You can stay for a QA session. We can continue with a QA session. If you have any questions, they can actually help me to answer. So this is Gordon. This is Rachel, and this is Benjamin. Year 1, 2, and 2. So you guys want to say something? Okay. Just introduce yourself.
That was a curveball. Hello, everyone. I'm a year 2 student in this program. I have been studying person-centered therapy and what else? Psychodynamic therapy. Yeah. So if you have any questions about our programs or some logistics or challenges that we have in our program, then I'm very happy to answer your questions, and I hope I can answer them.
So, hello everyone, I'm Rachel. I'm year 2 student, and I'm actually also a graduate from Bachelor of Counseling and Psychology a few years ago, and I'm here again for Counseling and Psychology Master Program. So I have go through schema therapy courses, and then also solution focused therapy, and actually outside of school I also learning play therapy. And if you're interested in knowing more about how to enroll the program or any other information about school life in HKSYU or anything, you may talk to me. We can talk a little bit more. Okay.
Okay, hello everyone. My name is Benjamin, and I'm currently a year 1 student in the counseling psychology field. And I used to graduate as Xuan at Bachelor of Psychology 2, which happened last year. And I haven't started my internship yet, which I haven't really get into some approaches. But I'm really happy to share with you about the students' hall life, school life, and anything you have considered or worried about.
Okay, hello everyone. Sorry, I'm a bit late. I'm Pierre. I'm also a Master Year 1 student. In undergrads, I was also studying in Xuan University for Counselling Psychology program. So I just came to Master program directly. And I haven't started my internship yet, just as Ben. But I can share a lot what did I learn for a lot of personal growth in this field. So if you're interested, you can talk to me. Yeah, and that's all. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. So if you guys have questions about interview, okay, they know a lot, okay, about interview. They may be able to provide you with some tips or whatsoever. If you want to know about externship, internship, these two, Rachel and Gordon, can share with you. If you want to know about the courses, what they have learned, okay, or their experiences, or teachers, okay, they can share with you as well, okay. You guys can raise up any questions, okay. Or if you want, you guys can share your whatever, simply just do it freely, casually. Yes.
Hello, I would like to ask about the requirement of Cantonese fluency. Because I'm a student from mainland China, so I'm not sure about it.
Would you like our students to use Mandarin to answer you?
你好。
It's okay.
因为我也是来自内地的同学，我在这里本科的时候大一就在这边读了。然后我们项目其实对于粤语的要求并没有那么的高。其实如果你能熟练的掌握英语，那么我们就相信你是足够能够在我们的课程中进行下去，包括学到很多知识的。对，所以当然最好我们还是希望，如果你能够想要融入香港的这个文化、这个社会，那粤语在 counseling 这个行业里面还是必不可少，因为语言始终是文化很重要的一部分。那么也希望，如果你有这个想法，还是可以去精进或者学习一下的。对，谢谢。
Thank you, Benjamin. Thank you. We do have sites that we arrange sites for students who do not have fluent Cantonese or cannot speak Cantonese. Then we will specifically arrange that for you. I know Dr. Zhang wants to say something, right? Yes, I saw her.
I just want to share a little bit from the practicum site because if you even though we may not communicate in fluent Cantonese, but it is still highly suggested that we able to understand spoken Cantonese because that would be very important for us to communicate with professional or other people besides our client. Just like Dr. Lee mentioned that even client has no problem. We can arrange you to the site. Cater for our language. However, in Hong Kong still, because nowadays 100% of our sites are in Hong Kong. So it is really important for us to at least understand spoken Cantonese so that we can communicate with local, other staff as well. Thank you.
Do we answer your question? Okay, excellent. Thank you for your questions. We have questions online. Someone asked that if you graduated with a degree in social science, criminology, and have taken 6 psychology courses, do you still need to complete a master in psychology before pursuing a master's in counseling psychology? Okay, the thing is, depends on your 6 courses, if you already pursue some other psychology related degree, okay, you have some psychology courses, you need to check it out. Okay, Hong Kong SISO requirement to see if your 6 courses or if any of your courses fulfill their requirement to be the member, okay, to be the graduate member of Hong Kong SISO. So at this moment, I have no idea about what the 6 courses are, so I cannot really answer you saying yes or no. I can only say your 6 courses have to fulfill the requirement by Hong Kong HKSYU to be eligible to applying for the graduate membership. Okay, if you have fulfilled the requirement, okay, then you can go ahead to apply for the membership first at this moment. At the same time, you can apply our program. Okay, so I believe the social science and criminology degree probably is more or less like a foundation course. Okay, but however, once again, I don't really know about that, so I cannot guarantee. So please check out the Hong Kong HKSYU website. Okay, if I remember correctly, those courses are history of psychology or developmental psychology and biological psychology, right? And cognitive psychology. What else, guys? Developmental psychology, I just said that already. Research thesis and anything else. There are 6 of it. No, abnormal psychology is not part of it. Okay. Biological, yes. Social psychology. Okay. So these are the courses that you probably need to check it out. Okay. I cannot remember all the 6 courses, so please check. Hopefully I have answered the question. Thank you. Any more questions on confusion or what you guys want them to share? Yes, please.
Hi, sorry, I'm just curious about the interviews. What kind of question could we expect and how is it conducted? What mode is that in?
I think our question is different based on our experience. Well, after graduate from bachelor, I work in a center serving EM clients in Hong Kong, and then at the time I feel like a bit overwhelming and burnt out. So my question were about how did I manage compassion fatigue and how do I overcome that difficulties. So this question just based on my experience, and then most probably the question wouldn't just based on like theories or your knowledge on psychology or counseling, but more on your personal growth, your insights on yourself, and how to be a better person, or you have more containment for any kind of relationship, or how do you be yourself in relationship, your reflexivity, and since as a counseling psychologist or as a counselor, we always emphasize the concept of reflective practice. So we might want to know more about how you think about different concepts or anything happens in your life. And so that you have to know how they will influence or affect your knowledge or any perception towards your perception towards humans or others, since they will affect your professional knowledge or clinical understanding towards your client. So we might emphasize that point.
Yeah, I think I really agree with Rachel about the reflective practice part. From my experience and listening to some of our classmates' experience, I think different interviewers might ask different questions depending on their style. And I think most importantly, because for me, my interviewer also asked me about some of my previous experience that I've written in my personal statement. So I think instead of preparing for particular questions or knowledge-based things, I think just prepare yourself as a person and do more reflective stuff, and make sure you really present yourself in the interview as well as in your personal statement to allow the person across to understand what kind of person are you, what kind of personality, and what kind of mindset are you bringing into this program.
And just want to highlight the reflective part as well, because I came to master program directly, so I kind of don't have any experience on working. So my questions I remember is they asked me, why now? Like, why do you choose here at this moment? And I just answer very honestly, just because of my personal growth, and I kind of do a lot of reflection during the interview as well. So just to demonstrate my passions and why do I feel like I'm into this field, and that's all. Yeah. Do you have anything?
Yeah, actually I have like very similar situation with Peter, and because I just graduate from bachelor and directly goes to master program. And the question I remember is why you want to switch from psychology to counseling psychology. And that was actually a very big thing I used to consider a lot. And by doing all those reflections, thinking and thought about my futures, development sort of things, I kind of answered the question fluently, and that's why I'm here. So yeah, basically it all depends on the personal experience and the reason you to be here. Yeah, thank you very much.
I can add on a little bit more. None of them actually mentioned about this. Remember I told you that there will be two interviewer. One is practice oriented, the other one is research oriented. So you can take a guess what kind of questions would it be. All right, so that's why we have these two different kinds of interviewers there. Okay, I have a question on the internet saying somebody's looking at the material list for the application, and a copy of TOEFL IELTS GRE score report is listed. I am wondering whether it's required for all applicants or only those whose university teaching mode is not primarily in English. Okay, yes, this is the requirement for those applicants whose primary teaching mode was not English in college, in university. Then you do need to together submit your TOEFL score or your IELTS score, to as a proof, for your English ability, because all the assignments will be written in English, and the lectures are conducted in English as well. However, let's say if you graduate from a program which the teaching mode is English, for example, in local, Hong Kong U, Chinese U, I believe everything was in English, or any of the schools in United States, like say, or UK or Australia, then you don't have to. However, let's say another, for example, mainland China, unless you graduate from international school. So Benjamin, did you take TOEFL or?
Yeah.
You still need to? Oh.
Well, no, I didn't take TOEFL when I was applying, but I used to have the score, but I'm not sure it's still valid.
Oh, because Benjamin actually graduated from HKSYU because our teaching mode is English, so you don't have to. Yes, that's right. So say Taiwan, Taiwan, the undergraduate programs, the teaching mode was not English. Mainland China was not. Let's say, however, Singapore was, Malaysia was. Earlier I mentioned about this. So if your undergraduate teaching mode was not English, yes, all the language requirement you do need to fulfill. When you submit all the application form together with other documents. All right, any other? Yes, this one and that one. So this gentleman first.
So I've got two questions. The first question is, do you guys register hall? So if you do, what is the fee, and why are you doing this?
Well, actually, for me, I registered at the hall for like for a couple of years during start from my bachelor's, because I actually from mainland. So I to be very honest, I have no place to live. Like, it's very high price for me to rent a house outside. It costs me too much. But the school is very nice. They have very fulfilled policy to provide us, or the students who live so far, for a fundamental place to live. And the fee, to be honest, I really forgot what it is, but it's not very high, to be very honest. Compared to rent a house outside, it was very, very, very cheap.
I mean, is it different when you register when you are doing bachelor and when you are doing master?
Oh, actually, there's some differences. So for the bachelor students, they live like mainly for 2, 3, or 4 students together. But for master students, I think we have single room and double room, right? So only like these 2 types.
I see. So the second question is, I want to know the time of the lecture. So is it going to be morning or night?
Well, for us, for year 1, we have like the class at 6:40 at night until the 9:20. So we basically have all the courses at night. Yeah, so how about?
We do at night as well, but then at around in like second semester of year 1, you will have internship. So it will take you around 2 days at school at our counseling center to seeing clients. It takes around 2 days. It depends on how you schedule your meeting with clients. And then after that, we will have externship, also 2 days. I mean, you can also negotiate with your center and also depends on your schedule. Basically 2 days morning, but all the classes at night.
Yeah, before Gordon talk about hall, okay, he wants to share something about hall. I can talk about the courses. All courses are in the evening, from 6:40 all the way until 9:20. However, I have to say some courses overrun until 10 o'clock, like me. Sometimes because they do demonstration and presentation. Okay, some of like one of my seminar courses, students have to do demonstration. Like demonstrate as like a real time therapy. So sometimes, and I actually lecture, I give comments, so sometimes that takes a little bit more time. So all courses Monday to Thursday, or Monday to Friday. Okay, because like Rachel just mentioned about during the daytime, starting from the second semester of the first year, you have to do clinical placement. That's in the daytime. Okay, so.
That makes me have another question. So if I get in and as a part-time, so can I become a full-time in the second year?
I believe so, right? You can switch.
Or vice versa?
I believe you can, but you can only switch once. We have our EA here. Can you?
Maybe I just answer you. You can switch the study mode from part-time or full-time to part-time. However, it may not be okay for you really switch to the study mode, because if you decide to switch to study mode, you need to approve from different committee and you need to provide some statement or some reason for us. So I think maybe you just better think about the study mode first.
I'd like to add a bit on the halls, because I'm very lucky to be able to register for accommodation hall as a local student. Yes, as a local student. The thing is, it would be very useful for you if during your internship and your externship time, because like we said, at the peak we are having 4 lessons per week, and every lessons are in the night time. And in the next morning, you're likely, particularly in internship, you will be having to be on duty in HKSYU University. So that means that leaves you less than 12 hours for your commute and also your sleeping time at home. So if you are a local student, then unfortunately, as far as I know, a lot of the halls are actually reserved for some maybe foreign students from different places and also exchange students. So the places are very limited, and I know our department and our faculty has been trying very hard for us to fight for more places, because they know our needs and our demands. But unfortunately, places are very limited. So if you are considering, then traffic and commute is something that you really need to consider, and your time, especially if you're considering part-time.
You, Gordon, congratulations. First of all, he's been trying many times and finally got it. Usually our school, because as you see, our school is really small. I know they are expanding that. And there are quite a lot of students from other places, and they will be prioritized to have the hall. So, for example, like Benjamin, so they are the first batch, the people to be considered. So that make local students' chance quite thin and quite limited. Okay, unfortunately, we like Gordon said, yes, we do try very much. We hope that. Every year, school can leave some spaces for us. However, and they do have a point system, okay, for them to consider to be fair.
As a reference, I believe in our 2 years of study, I believe I'm the only one who actually received an offer for a whole residence. And for your reference, I live in Ma'anshan. I know we have a classmate who lives in Tongchong who didn't get a hall. So, yeah, for your reference.
Depends on where you work, I mean your externship, because some students might want to apply for hall, but then they don't work in Hong Kong Island side. They might work in new territories, then it might not beneficial for you if you register hall, but then you work far away.
Thank you, guys. Those are very valuable. I hope that's helpful for you. Okay, we do have some questions from online as well. Does the program recognized by Foreign Psychology Society? Oh, excellent question. I got this question every year. First of all, I have to say depends on the registration or legislation policy. Let me talk about USA first because I know the most. USA, okay, in terms of American Psychological Association, is not responsible, okay, for registration. It's actually responsible to accredit each program, okay, to see whether the program is eligible, okay, for students to take the licensure examination, okay, by the Board of Psychology in each state. Okay, so in United States, they don't have a registration system, they have legislation, so that means license. Okay, so what kind of people can call themselves psychologists? Only people who obtain doctoral degree, PhD or PsyD degree, and their program or their school graduated from have to be eligible for them to take the licensure examination in the board. For example, I graduated from California State, okay, Los Angeles, and my school was accredited by the Board of Psychology in the state of California. So all the courses, okay, are designed according to the licensure examination. So after I graduated, a year after I accumulated about 3,000 hours, okay, then I will be eligible to take the licensure examination. And once I pass it, okay, I can call myself licensed clinical psychologist. So this is the United States. For UK, okay, BPS. So British Psychological Society, you can apply, okay, based on my understanding that they do not have a legislation. However, the procedure could be quite complicated. They don't require a doctoral degree. Okay, so your degree, whether it's compatible with their society, meaning the Hong Kong SciSo requirement or the program requirement, whether this is recognized by their society, recognized as psychologist, okay, this is questionable. I am not quite sure. However, I heard from some students, okay, their degrees are actually recognized by some society. However, the title, okay, I don't want to give you the fantasy. The title, like one of my students graduated from the program and immigrated to Canada, and she was, okay, it's a female. She was not eligible to take the licensure examination because Canada actually has the same kind of a legislation like United States. So the only thing that she was able to apply, okay, was another society association to recognize her as a counselor. Okay, so the title then she can use legally, eligibly is counselor, registered counselor, okay, or psychological counselor, not using a name, psychologist. So based on my understanding is that US, UK, US, UK, Australia. Okay, UK, Australia, you only need a master degree. However, whether this is compatible, recognized by the society, I'm not quite sure that you can actually call yourself psychologist. US, definitely not. Okay, you need to have a doctoral degree and take the licensure examination. Singapore, okay. Singapore only require you to have a master. Most likely, I believe that you will be eligible to apply as the membership and to be registered as the registered practicing psychologist. Okay, I remember at least when I become the member and the registered supervisor, I'm the registered supervisor, they did not really quite differentiate the counseling psychologists and clinical psychologists. However, nowadays, I'm not quite sure if they have changed the policy. I know their policy has become more and more rigid and strict. This is Singapore. And for Canada, same thing like US. Okay, you need to take licensure examination. They only recognize a doctoral degree holder to take the licensure examination. So I just talked about Canada, US, Singapore, UK, and Australia. So these are the differences. So one thing that I want to clarify one more time is your recognition as psychologist, practicing psychologist. When you immigrated to another country, that they may not let you use it. Okay, you probably can be recognized as counselor, because like Canada and US, if you want to call yourself, this is a legal term. You need to pass the licensure examination and to be recognized by the board of the psychology in the state or in the province. Okay, in Canada it's province. I hope I answered the questions. Okay, and there are more. There's one more question. Sorry about that. Yeah, sorry.
May I ask, like the number of applicants in average every year?
Like 80 something to 100. I don't quite remember. Yes.
Last year is 83 people for applicant.
Yes, there was another year in the very beginning. I forgot. But anyway, so then we still need to filter to see the application if it is eligible. Yes.
And is there any kind of students or applicants that, I mean, like the quality in that applicants that you're looking for usually?
Okay, I got that question all the times. Maybe I'll let my students to answer you this question first, as you guys are in the program. Okay, what do you think? Why we chose you? What kind of quality did you guys have?
This is a difficult question, I think, because our perspective might be different from the department. Okay. As a student from HKSYU, I mean, graduate from Counselling, I think as we're thinking about being a counselor or a counseling psychologist, the quality of being a counselor, I would say, is you're being open to different perspectives, your acceptance, or as I said before, your reflexivity. Are you being a reflective person? And how can you perceive yourself as a therapist or counseling psychologist or a counselor? So this is one quality. Another thing is about being a counselor or being a counseling psychologist in Hong Kong, because we all know that maybe as a counselor or counseling in Hong Kong is quite unique, or we're kind of having a competition among different professionals. So what makes you really want to be members of these professions, and your passion, your knowledge, and maybe also about your personal experience. We might want to see more about how you think or how you decide to go into this path. So I think that's the reason that we are all here, because we think a lot on this.
Anyone else want to?
Besides what kind of characteristics the interviewers might be looking for, I also like to think about what this program has trained me for and kind of shaped me throughout the process. I think one of the important characteristics, in my opinion, as a counseling psychologist, is having that genuine care for people and that desire and passion to build a relationship with your client. And I think that actually, like Rachel said, why choosing this program, and that mentality is separating you from other professions. So what kind of mentalities do you have to bring into this program to be a counseling psychologist? It's really different. I mean, Rachel and our classmates here, we have different philosophies and values, and we would present a different kind of counseling psychologist. So I think it's really important about how you have that, I mean, the genuine care for people from your perspective, based on your values and personality. Yeah.
Want to share? Okay. Thank you, Gordon. Thank you, Rachel. Let me ask you guys a question. If you are a client, what kind of therapist do you hope to have? Imagine if you are a client, you have some obstacles, confusions, difficulties in life, and you wish to talk to a therapist. What kind of therapist, what kind of quality you hope your therapist may have? Open-minded. Anything else? Genuinely wants to stay in a connection with the client, be interested in what you tell them, right? Okay. How about cold? Being cold versus warm. Caring, interested, empathic versus not empathic. Okay. What about knowing the boundary, respect you as a person, not letting the bias to crush the relationship, be able to work with you through your obstacles? I guess that's a wonderful therapist, right? The image of a wonderful therapist. I guess I just told you what kind of quality that we are looking for. Plus, they're sharing. Gordon wants to say something.
Yeah, I want to add on. I'm not sure how many of you have actually gone into therapy yourself as a client, but I think that experience, I go to a counselor regularly, and I feel that experience really helps me to understand my relationship with my clients and also with myself. I guess if you have been through some difficult counseling sessions, those processes are very difficult and very tiring and stressful and anxiety inducing, and there are lots of fears in those sessions. And I feel like having a therapist who can contain all those feelings, and I feel safe to going through those processes with a therapist is very important. So yeah, that could be one of the qualities.
I'm not sure if we're going a bit theoretical or 有啲虛無㗎，好似頭先講嘅嘢 kind of like feeling or something. But I would say, personally, I go to therapy regularly since undergrad because as a bachelor student, we have to see a master student for 15 sections. So you guys will be our future counselor for our undergrad student as well. I mean, actually, I learned much more in the therapy section of what kind of qualities as a counselor I would like. Or I think we are thinking about what is therapy. I mean, the question here is what is therapy to you and what you think you can provide to the client. So I think this is the most important question that you might have to think, or you have to feel, I would say. I can't say think, but feel. And you can't get any standard answer in the textbook because there are hundreds and thousands approaches all around the world, and they have different philosophy. Some of them may be contradicting and some of them may align and very similar. We can't say they're right or wrong, but you have to find the one that matches with your own values and your own philosophy. As a therapist, I think we're all developing our own philosophy as a human, as in therapy, or as in any kind of relationship. We're all looking for our own philosophy, our own perspective. So it's a good question, and I think it's also a very good start to be your therapist and as a person. Yeah.
Great. Thank you, Rachel. One more thing is, our program does not require our students to have your own therapy. However, we encourage you guys, okay? I think every single one of us being in this room, more or less, has some issue, okay? So, in fact, in my doctoral program in the United States, the program requires us to have 45 hours of counseling hours to be the counselee ourselves, okay? To be the client before we can graduate. Later on, if you will be attending to the play therapy information seminar, Dr. Chen will tell you guys their program require how many hours? 50 hours counseling. This is something I kind of want to do as well. It's actually even 50 hours, even more than my PhD requirement. Okay, so like I totally agree with them that being the client, sitting on the other side of the chair is a completely different feeling. Okay, and you would know what exactly you are looking for as a client, then you would know what exactly you need to deliver to your client. Okay, and that's the kind of quality that we are looking for through our interview. Okay, I hope that answers your question. Thank you. So we have some more questions from online. So what will be included in the written test? Actually, you will be provided with a case, right? A case actually is a vignette. But the thing is not, in fact, we are not looking for how great you are going to give an intervention or and sometimes you will be given a news, or depends on who writes the written test questions. So in the past, I have seen many different kinds of questions, usually like a vignette or a paragraph. Okay, we are not really looking for whether you answer correctly or there's no right or wrong answer. We are really looking at how well your English written is and how well you actually can organize your ideation, to organize your thought, how structured you are, okay, when you write the English paragraph or article. Okay, another question is, I would like to ask if a fresh grad student would like to apply for this program, but since the graduation month will be in June, which I may not be able to provide an official graduation certificate or transcript before applying the program, will there be conditional offer? Okay, I will have my 2 students, they just graduated. They haven't even attended their graduation ceremony. It will be in November, so they can answer the question. Yes.
Yeah. I remember I also cannot provide their requirement documents, so I kind of emailed the faculty and the master place, the registry to kind of negotiate and talk what kind of document can I provide them instead. And I think that's not a problem. Like, you can just directly ask them, oh, I haven't get my certificates, I haven't get my transcript yet, what else can I provide you? So don't worry too much on that.
Well, for me, I kindly asked the school to provide me an early transcript, which only included year 1 to year 3 grades, as a reference to apply in this program. So personally, in my experience, I feel it's okay if you not have a fulfilled grade sheet. At least you have like enough like GPA or like that match the standard. So I think pretty much that's it. Yeah.
All right, so I hope that they answer your questions. Yes, you still can. Please go ahead if you're a fresh graduate. Okay, another question I think is quite critical. So what is the ratio of graduate students for choosing full-time job / private practice? Okay, full-time job to me and private practice are two different things. Okay, full-time jobs, I think a very large amount of the students, they will look for different location or different, depends on where they want to work. Some of them work as a school counselor, okay, and they obtain the title of a counseling psychologist. Okay, for example, one of my students working San Francisco University. It's been 3 years already, and some of our students work in community center. Okay, some of our students actually work for a private medical association. Okay, together with psychiatrists. I believe so far there are 3 because they approached us, asked us to give them. To actually post their advertisement, okay, to our alumni. So the ratio is actually pretty high for full-time jobs as counseling psychologists, or if you work in school, okay, probably you would be called school counselors, okay. Unfortunately, depends on the school whether they want to give you the title as a counseling psychologist. However, after you registered, okay, through Hong Kong SYU, you can always call yourself a registered counseling psychologist. Private practice, I have to say, the ratio, to be honest, is lower, okay, especially in the very beginning. Okay, however, in the past, because we've been running this program for 15 years already, gradually, because I oftentimes to look at the alumni and graduates to see what they are doing, and in fact that we do keep in touch with quite a lot of our students, probably graduate after 5 years, okay, and when they accumulated more experiences and networking as well, okay, they may more or less to gradually start their private practice, okay, alone, or sometimes they will collaborate with their classmates. Some of my students, they do this, okay, 2-3 people, okay, they will actually run the private practice together, okay. So these are all the things that they do, okay. I have another master's degree in counseling and narrative therapy. Is there a system that I could do credit transfer for similar subjects such as ethics or CBT? I believe not. Okay, so you cannot. There's no such permission from the program that you can transfer the credit. I'm sorry about that. Okay. I want to share with you guys that because the program has been going for quite stably for quite some years, and we've been working quite hard to not just have the externship here in Hong Kong. Okay, we are together with my coordinator and with my team members. We are trying to. In the past couple of years, we try to collaborate with other places, universities or institutions, and for our students, for our research as well. Okay, so I kind of want to share a little video with you guys that in the past couple of years, we try to collaborate with the Beijing Normal University, okay, Zhuhai campus. The main campus is in Beijing, and this is one of the most prestigious school in mainland China. And they come to visit us. They have a program called Master of Applied Psychology, and we find that our programs are quite compatible, and they are very interested to send their students to here to do their placement, and we are very interested to send our students over there. Okay, we're still under our supervision. So, and we also collaborate with one of the hospitals in Canton province, and there's a place called Maoming, and this is psychiatric hospitals, and they have a very extensive, very extensive counseling centers there, working together with psychiatrists and very large amount of clients for our students, and we are actually thinking about to send our students there. So in the next few minutes, I'm gonna show you guys the video of those places. So the first one is the counseling center of Beijing, BNU, Beijing Normal University. The name is Beijing Shifan Daxue. Okay, Zhuhai campus. Okay, their counseling center is really great. Okay, and the second part is the hospital. Okay, so let me share this. So which one should I? Okay, so this is just a little bit of something for you to. We actually plan to send our students next summer. So this is our year 1 students. They may have the chance to go. Okay, so. Okay, so this is the places. These are the places that we are thinking to send our students to if they are interested, and these places are really welcome. And we may support our students financially, more or less, to go to those sites. And if you do you have more questions? And because I have to hand over this place to the next information seminar for society. If you are, yes? Huh? MSW, Master of Social Work. Do you have questions? Okay, all right. So thank you once again. Thank you for coming here, and thanks to all my colleagues here and my student helper. And thank you. If you have more questions, you can always email us or approach us. And our admission office actually told us that if you want to apply, it's free today, and outside you can do it today. And is it? So it's right here. So Teresa's here. You can consider. Thank you very much, and have a nice weekend.